In this video, we are going to discuss UPSC exam timeline. Understanding the timeline of UPSC exam will help you in planning the preparation required for this exam in a better way. Later, we will also discuss important environmental topics that are frequently part of UPSC syllabus. UPSC conduct its prelim paper in the month of June. UPSC prelim is objective type exam and it is divided into two papers and both papers are conducted on the same day. Paper 1 of prelim is of 2 hours and include 200 marks MCQ questions with negative marking. This paper is deciding paper. The marks of this paper is counted for the final merit list. However, students have to appear for paper 2 in the afternoon session, and this paper is a qualifying paper in which students have to score minimum 33% marks. This paper tests mental ability, logical reasoning and communication skill of students. Result of UPSC prelim is usually declared in the month of August. And then in the month of September, UPSC conduct its mains paper. So if we notice there is a 3-month gap between prelims and mains, and students should ideally keep this time period for thorough revision. So all the preparation of this paper should be over much before the June, so that students get this time of 3 months to revise. So UPSC mains paper is actually subdivided into different papers and they are conducted on different days. Usually UPSC conducts its main paper in 5 days, and each 5 day has a morning session of 3 hours and evening session of again 3 hour duration. Day 1 is usually essay paper. Day 2 include General Studies 1 and General Studies 2 paper. Day 3 include General Studies 3 and General Studies 4. On day 4, students have to write Indian language paper in the morning session and English paper in the afternoon session. Last day, that is day 5, is for optional paper 1 and optional paper 2. Out of all these papers, essay paper, which is paper 1, General Studies paper, General Studies 2, General Studies 3 paper and General Studies 4, also optional 1 and optional 2 paper, they are counted in the merit list. But students have to qualify Indian language and English and they need a minimum score of 25% in these two papers. So papers which are counted for final merit list are these: essay paper GS1, GS2, GS3 and GS4, optional paper 1 and optional paper 2. All these papers are of 250 marks each and therefore the total count is 1750. After conducting mains paper, usually UPSC conduct personality test. So based on the marks of mains paper, a merit list is prepared and students are called for personality test in the month of February. This personality test is counted for 275 marks. So overall student score will be from mains paper plus personality test, which will be equal to total of 2025 marks. Let's see UPSC prelim syllabus. So UPSC prelim syllabus include two papers, paper 1 in the morning session and paper 2 in the afternoon session. Both these papers are of 200 marks and 2 hour duration. So paper 1 tests the students' knowledge in the field of current affairs, history, geography, polity, economics, general science. In this paper, environmental topics like environmental ecology, biodiversity and climate change are also frequently asked. Paper 2, however, is qualifying paper and it includes various MCQs based on comprehension, interpersonal skills, logical reasoning, decision making ability, general mental ability, basic numeracy, etc. UPSC main syllabus include two main types of paper. First, qualifying papers, paper A and paper B. Paper A is language, paper B is English, and in both the papers, students have to score minimum 25% marks. Then paper which are counted for merit are paper 1 essay, paper 2 general studies 1, paper 3 general studies 2, paper 4 general studies 3, paper 5 general studies 4, then optional paper 1 and optional paper 2. So qualifying papers are two. So these qualifying papers are paper A, which include knowledge of Indian language, and then paper B, which test the student's ability to write English. But both these papers are testing the knowledge till the matriculation level. They are both of qualifying nature. And further, students have to get a minimum score of 25% marks in both these papers. However, paper A on Indian language is not compulsory for the candidates who are from Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland or Sikkim. It is also not compulsory for the students who have benchmark disability. Let's see the syllabus of paper 1. Paper 1 is usually a essay paper. So in this, students are given multiple topics and they have to write essay based on these topics. Then we have next paper, which is known as General Studies 1. So General Studies 1 paper is actually a paper based on art and culture, history, geography of the world and society. So there are topics of Indian culture which are part of this syllabus. There are also topics related to Indian history which are part of this syllabus. History including the time period of modern Indian history, freedom struggle, post-independence history and history of the world, including the event from 18th century onwards. Further, in paper 2, that means General Studies 1, there are topics related to salient feature of Indian society, role of women, effect of globalization, social empowerment. Then there is entire portion which is related to geography. So geography portion here include world physical geography, key natural resources, primary, secondary and tertiary sector industries, geophysical phenomena like earthquake, tsunami, volcanic activity, cyclones, etc. Next is General Studies 2 paper, which check governance, constitution, polity, social justice and international relation knowledge of the students. So in this paper, we generally find topics related to Indian constitution, function and responsibility of union and states, separation of power between different organ dispute redressal mechanism and institutions, comparison of Indian constitutional scheme with other countries, parliament and state legislature, their structure, power, etc. Then functioning of executive and judiciary, ministries and department of the government. So all these are part of GS2. Further, the topics of GS2 also include appointments of constitutional posts, their power, then statutory, regulatory and various quasi-judicial bodies, government policies and interventions for development in various sectors and issues associated with it, development processes and development industries, welfare scheme for vulnerable section of population by center and the states. GS2 paper also include following topics: issues related to development and management of social sector and services, issues related to poverty and hunger, important aspects of governance, transparency, accountability, e-governance model, etc., role of civil services. Then there are topics related to international relationships, and these topics are India and its neighbor, bilateral relationship, effects of policies and politics of developed and developing countries on India's interest, Indian diaspora, important international institutions, their agencies, structure, etc. GS3 paper. GS3 paper tests the knowledge of candidate in the field of technology, economic development, biodiversity, environment, security and disaster management. So in this paper, there are topics related to economics like Indian economy and issues relating to planning, mobilization of resources, etc., inclusive growth models, government budgeting, major cropping pattern of the country, issues which are directly related to subsidies, minimum support prices, etc., food processing and related industry in India, land reforms in India, effect of liberalization in India, infrastructure projects like energy, airport, railways, etc. Then there are science and technology topics, and these topics are science and technology, their development and application, achievement of Indians in science and technology, then topics related to IT, so awareness in the field of IT, computer, robotics, nanotechnology, biotechnology, etc. Then we have few topics which are related to environment here, and these topics are conservation, environmental pollution, degradation, environmental impact assessment, disaster and disaster management. There are further topics in GS3 paper which are related to internal security. For example, challenges of internal security through communications network, role of media, social network sites, then security challenges and how to manage them, various security forces and agencies in the country, etc. After GS3, the next paper is GS4, which is completely related to ethics. So there are different case examples which are given to test students' ethical point of view. So ethics and human interface is the first topic, then attitude. Next is aptitude and foundational value of civil services, integrity, partiality, etc. Emotional intelligence, concept and utility. Contribution of moral thinkers and philosophers from India and the world. Public services and ethics in public administration. Probity in governance. And case studies related to above issues. In the mains paper, students also have to appear for optional subject paper 1 and 2. Students can choose any optional subject out of following, and they have to write 2 papers for each subject. So for example, they can choose agriculture, for which they have to appear for paper 1 and paper 2. So agriculture, animal husbandry, anthropology, botany, chemistry, civil engineering, commerce, electrical engineering, geography, geology, history, law, management, maths, mechanical engineering, medical science, philosophy, physics, pol science, psychology, public admin, sociology, statistics, zoology, and any of the following literature subject like Assamese, Bengali, Bodo, Dogri, Gujarati, Hindi, Kannada, Kashmiri, etc. could be part of optional subject. UPSC environmental syllabus. In UPSC, environment plays a very important role and many questions are frequently asked from environmental topics. So, UPSC mains general studies 3 include following environmental topics like biodiversity conservation, environmental pollution, environment impact assessment, disaster and disaster management. In UPSC prelim, main topics of environment are environmental ecology or ecosystem, biodiversity, and climate change. So, broadly, we can classify that following are the main environmental topics of UPSC syllabus. First, environmental ecology and ecosystem. Second, biodiversity conservation. Third, environmental pollution. Fourth, environment impact assessment. Fifth, disaster and disaster management. Sixth, climate change. Seventh, international treaties or agreements on environment. And last, environment in news or current affairs. So if you want to prepare for UPSC environmental topics, please check our next videos. And if you want to know the detail of syllabus, then please see the attached PDF in the description box. Thank you.